All right. Welcome one. Welcome all back to another day of programming. Yo, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's awesome to hear from everybody. I hope you're doing well. Let's go ahead and load up chat. Load up the chat, why don't I? Let me load up my chat. Alright, you guys. Today is going to be a special day. Today is going to be a special day. So, I think we're going to launch our project. Yeah. We're going to launch SpectroSim today, I think. Alright, let's go ahead and pull up the app. Oh. CD the front end. NPM. Run dev. Alright, we're in. We're in. So if you recall from yesterday, if you weren't here yesterday, we got a lot of features done on our project. We have the ability to select our certain simulators that we offer on this site, which is cool. We have an about page, and which I need to edit here. I need to kind of make it my own, and then our normal absorb sim. And we also have this footer here, which links also to our GitHub, which is nice. So, I'm happy that we have this so far. Okay, so if I go home, okay, I'm curious. Hold on, I want to see something. What if we say DVH here? Does that do anything on the about? It's our footer. Let me open up the footer here real quick. Hold on. This says margin top of 2 on this div itself. Padding a Y. If I remove this, pushes it down even more. Huh. Interesting. Space X. Which is this here. This. Which is this. If I say 4. Yeah, that's not. Okay. Alright, let's get into this. Okay, so we have our simulator here. Okay. Okay, we're on our dev branch, good. Okay. Alright. Make them at least sub to YouTube. Have a sub wall. The recruiters got to sub to my YouTube before they go to the site. That's funny.
Eduardo says good evening.
Hey dude, how's it going? Welcome back in. Okay, so we're gonna go like this. Okay, I'm gonna go to, let's get out of this, out of this, out of this, out of this, out of all this stuff. Let's just clear out. Okay, let's just go to our main program here. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. So on this, when we say with open the cache as file, if we open the cache, then we're gonna open it. So if name in content, then get it.
Tim says, will there be leave today?
And let's try the web scrape functions. Okay, so we're gonna, hold on. If we can launch the project soon enough, I think we're gonna try to launch this bad boy. I think we're gonna launch it. I don't see why not. I mean, it doesn't have like too much styling on like the home and the about page, but I can at least keep adding stuff. Like, right? Not as much as the projects, Duardo. The projects are where I like my stuff. Okay, so we're gonna go like this. I'm gonna go to content. If the name in content, then we're going to get the content of that name. So then we'll just do this. Let's say that we want to, okay, so if not found compound data, we raise this. Say no UV-vis data for that one, right? Perfect, okay. But we got a search count that went. Update the actual compound search count here, +1. So then let me go like this. Before we dump the data back onto this.
Eduardo says, Michael, can I try hack your project? Please, I will report all bugs.
I don't know. I don't really know much about that. I'm just trying to finish the project right now. I'm not really too focused on that. Okay, update the search count. So we want, this is of the compound, right? And then this is update the total search count. So we're gonna add this total search count here. So we're gonna go here and go into content. I'm gonna go in here, so total search count. Right, content is what we read off the file. So I'm gonna go into content total search count for that key, which is just gonna be its own kind of like standalone thing at the top. So what I'm gonna do is,
Eduardo says, okay, Michael.
Equals to content dot get the total search count 0, and then we're gonna +1 here. So update the total search count here. So get it if it's not there, 0. Okay. And then we'll save it. So I'm going to take this here. So right here, before we dump back onto here, hold on. So this is all our web scrape functions. Just clears all this other stuff out that we don't need. Extract the compounded. What? Oh, if you get a value error, you delete all the information and you write it as none. That's why, that's that part. Okay. I need to put more comments. Forget what I write sometimes. Okay, then here, update the search count. Update the total search count here. So we write content of this updated dictionary onto content. And then we dump it on. Okay, so now if I delete this and go refresh, SpectroSim, salicylic acid search. Oh, we don't have our backend running. So now we have total search count here at the top. Okay, so now what we're gonna write into here in our cache clear function, we have this cache clear here. So, which currently clears out all items that have search counts less than 3 and none for their return values. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go back to my main function here. I'm going to, or from web scraper, no, we're going to go say from cache clear import cache clear. Okay, and so what I'm going to do with this guy is that here, so I'll first write it up here where the first occurrence is happening.
R2005 says, yo dude, how do you function after or 9-5? I get so tired after my internship that's 8-4. I get home and can barely get myself to study.
You'll get used to it, my dude.
2005 says, do I need to be sleeping early or something?
Nah, you'll just get used to it. It's definitely rough at first. If I remember right, you said you were 20, so if this, yeah, you'll just get used to the schedule.
2005 says, and like TBH, I don't even be doing much of the internship. The office cubicle environment is just tiring ASF.
Yeah, I know that feeling, man. It's rough at first. The hours are long at first, but you, unfortunately, you get adjusted to, and so, you know, your body thinks that some days are shorter, feel short, like in 8 hours, or like, oh, it went by fast, but it's like not true. Okay, the search count of compounds. So here, if we update this count, so hold on right here, we're gonna try to open the file here. Okay. We will write a function here on this open, say if content dot total search count
R2005 says, days are slipping by and it's only week 2.
is greater than or equal to 1000. We're going to, let's just make it 10 for right now. Okay. Let's just put in 10 for right now. What we're going to do to this is we're going to run cache clear, right, which is going to do with open compound cache JSON and do this deletion of compounds in our cache. This doesn't return anything. This just returns none. Okay, so we're going to run this cache clear, and then we're going to reset this guy back to 0. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So right now we have a search limit of 10 for our cache. So let's cache a couple more compounds here. Caffeine. Okay, let's cache methylene blue. There we go. Let's cache aspirin. Let's cache coumarin. Okay. Okay, so then we have a total search count of 4 now. We have salicylic acid, caffeine, methylene blue, aspirin, coumarin. Okay. Okay, so we didn't update on a null search count. That's right, because that's down here. We passed over that earlier. So I'm going to take this and I'll apply right before we dump, after we set it to none. I'm going to update the total search count to here. Okay, so if let me do one for methylene blue then, just so we get that search count updated.
Do you have limit for cache memory stuff or?
Because we don't want our cache to just grow infinitely large, and we're not paying for the server. It's going to be just a free tier. And I don't want to have to go in and clear it out myself. So total search count get, total search count plus equals 1. We set it to none into the content, and then update the content total search count and then dump the thing. Oh, but this is getting it from the cache. Right, because this is finding the name in the content. It's getting the name. If not, it's raising this. So we'll take this.
Mohan says, oh, okay.
And we'll do this here instead. So it gets happened no matter what. So now if I go here, compound cache, and search up methylene blue, no. No. If name in content, found compound data get name, update the content search total. let me say, let's see if it's even getting to here. This isn't updating.
Austin says, you.
Hey Austin, how's it going, man? So then, why isn't this updating? Update if the content.
Austin says, going great, hope same for you.
I'm gonna take this. No, I don't like that. I want to figure it out. Okay, so update the search count of the compound. That updates the search count. But if not found compound, we get hit with this. And it raises error, which is what we got back. But why isn't our content total search count increasing even on these? So if I do, let's do like that, updated that. Oh, it's not writing the file. That's why. So now if I go here, refresh, go methylene blue, search, there we go. Okay, now let's see if this happens on 10. If we hit 10, boys, does we get our cache clear? 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, what happened? What?
Art 2005 says, do you find we're 8 hours at your job fly by or not?
When I'm busy, yes. When I'm not busy, no. Ah, shoot. So if it comes greater than or equal to 10, you run cache clear. It's great. If it's equal to 10, you run cache clear and set to 0. I don't get it though. Why is that 10? Why is that letting it get to 10? Greater than or equal to. Clear the cache. Oh no, but we don't want to clear it right before we open it. So let's take this out. Let's say guess everywhere we write the file, we have to do the, I don't know. Cache clear. Oh, import a function. Let me do this thing. No. So I'll say file here. And I'll say file. I'm gonna put file path here. Now in clear cache, I'll put cache clear. We'll put here quote cache dot compound cache dot json. So if I go here and search, okay, we got if compound data or none is none. Okay, so we'll say, we'll go like this. In the compound cache, on the clear cache, for compound name and data and cache dot items, we're gonna go if compound name is equal to the total search count, then we're going to continue. We're gonna pass over it. We're not gonna do this. Okay, so let's go back here. So it should be deleting you. To be deleted. We loop over them. If the compound data is none, or the compound search count is less than 3, we add it to the to be deleted. We delete it from the cache. We open it and write it. Return none. So why isn't this doing this here? To this guy should be gone. just so I can get it into its form over here. Okay, so total search count does reset. So let me not do that here. Let me go here. Let me reset the total search count here. That resets it there. Okay, so now let's make sure that stays reset. No. We run clear cache. Which then says if compound name is equal to total search count, then compound data okay. So we need to say cache at compound name equals to 0, resets it there. So now if I see here, doesn't make any sense.
Kai says, Art 2005 if you can work out or go to the gym before going to the gym that could likely help you get that done. If you have to do it during the day consider caffeine or foods with decent carbs. Kai says particularly slow digesting carbs.
So if it's null, right here is where we're saying null. If it's not, you get total search count. So this is going to be methylene blue. I open up the cache. If it's not in there, then I went here. So then you don't have anything in the cache. So you only do this content clear if you open the cache. So if I keep searching here too.
Kai says is it in the cache?
10, 11. Oh, shoot. Ah, this is more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so we have. I need to turn on some different tunes. Okay, so we say if not name, we raise an exception right away. Okay, and then we say name equals name.lower. Okay, so we open compound cache as file, load the content. If the total search count is 10 or more, we're going to clear the cache. except if there is no file, we open it, so we don't need to run any clear cache here. We update the total search count. So if the name is in content, then we update the total search count. We found a successful search. We're updating a search. Else we scrape. And if we get a successful either null, I want this to go before here. Okay, and then update the content of that one, and then write it. So then why? Okay, so let's go to here, delete, search. Okay, there it is. Now if I go up to, it doesn't reset, so cache clear.
Kai says, so is it able to find methylene blue but not the data within methylene blue?
Methylene blue is none, because there is no UV data for methylene blue, so it follows kind of a different path in our function here. So if the name is in content, which methylene blue in this case now is in the cache, so now it will go into here. We get the found compound data. If this is none, update the total search count. Okay, we update the total search count here. If it's none, then we're gonna just open and dump the file and raise the error. Right, else it's not none. We update the search count for the individual compound we found. We open, dump the file, and then return back the data of the found compound. So why though, given the file path? Well, this returns none. Oh, that's why. We have to keep it in here. So I'll say here, content, total search count will now be reset to 0 after 10 searches. So now if I go here, okay, so now why though is it not deleting this? So we'll do file path here and then write it. Okay, let's see what happens here. Now if we try, maybe it just wasn't, the pathing wasn't working out. No. Why is that not working? I have a function in my main with a to run on total search count. So right now I'm just doing this. Right. So if content, right, cache clear, and then we write it.
Kai says is the reason why we are creating a cache for searches because you plan to implement a recent searches list?
For spacing reasons, right? So with open.
Zuxasi says, Kai. Kai says hello.
So then we say,
Zuxasi says, are you a professional coder? Zuxasi says in Python.
okay, so then we say, so if content, we clear the cache, we write it. This does all this. Tries to open cache and dumps.
Kai says not at all. I am merely wondering how the code works and trying to help with the debugging process. Max says, do you use Copilot for assistance? Duardo says, Michael is the best programmer in this channel.
I wouldn't know about that. Maybe we need to go here and say content is equal to a blank dictionary. Right, we're going to clear the cache. No, we don't want to set it to a blank dictionary. Oh yeah, and then that happens. Shoulders count. Okay, so let's see. If I delete this, search methylene blue, I still get this with the total search count of 1 now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we go. Got it. So we clear the content out and then start it over, establish a search count, and then this doesn't take place because the name isn't in content because it's empty, and we start from web scraping. This is search cache for name. If it's not there, search pub chem compound. Okay, there we go. So now let's add a couple more compounds here. Let's say we got caffeine, we've got coumarin, we've got aspirin, we've got, let's say we got aspirin 4 times, so it's a hot compound, right? Aspirin has a total search count here of 4, or search count, while the total is 7. So this one should be retained, right? That's what I'm trying to test here. And then all these other ones should be deleted. So if I just search up sodium, a blank, another blank, right? So now if I keep going here, this is 8, so now everything should be deleted except for aspirin after 10. What? No way! Sodium? What? Oh. If the compound data is none. Or compound data search. Why did it? So sodium got loaded onto here because we searched again. So that's why it got loaded back onto here. So that's fine. But why did it delete aspirin? It stayed that time. Well, no, because we... Meth. Why is that class? So it clears all. Let me go ahead and after this, let me say print to be deleted. Let's see what's being deleted here. So we type in aspirin. Let's search this like 6 or so times. And let's search sodium. Okay, so that cleared out sodium and meth, but it cleared out aspirin. What? Sodium and meth were the only ones supposed to be deleted. Huh, so my cache clear accurately gets the names into be deleted, but deletes. We delete compound name into be deleted. So I type in aspirin. Right, I have 8 searches on aspirin. 9 and let's say sodium. Oh, here. We're resetting content and writing it, or despite cache clear. So we open up the cache. So then this is going to return the cache back to us. That's what we needed to do. Okay, so it's going to return the cache back to us. This is going to become content is equal to there. That gets removed. And then you searched for the name.
Happy launch day, gents.
We'll see if we get there. Don't jinx me, man. So if we say aspirin, we'll search aspirin a bunch of times. And let's search sodium. One more time. There we go. Now aspirin is retained, but total search count went, oh gosh. So we'll remove that here and we'll put this back in the cache clear. Right, so this is going to be cache compound name equals to 0. So now that should get hit. There we go. So now I have sodium here. If I keep so the thing is, I also need to reset the search count of those because right else compound data here search count is going to be reset to 0. Okay, so now if I try this, okay, now aspirin, does this have a search count of 0? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Any else said anything, really? Okay, there we go. So let's try it again. Let's delete the compound cache here. Go here, let's search sodium. Let's type in aspirin. All right, we get aspirin. Search it a few more times. Okay, let's type in sodium here. 9, 10, and boom, reset, search count reset. Aspirin is retained. Sodium was searched on 1, and aspirin has a search count of 0. Perfect. So now hot searches get reset back to 0, and then perfect. So now what we can do is I'm going to, now that this works for 10 compounds, I can increase this number to like 100 or 1,000 as well. So let's make sure this works one more time. So let's add in, let's make it be like 20 for right now. No, not there, whoops. Here.
Milton says, hi Michael, nice your work in Python.
Hey Milton, how's it going, dude? I appreciate you for joining me here. What are you working on? Okay, so we got, this is our absorptions, right? So we have sodium, let's do caffeine, let's do coumarin, let's do benzene, let's search this a couple of times, let's search up benzoic acid, search a couple of times. Right, and then let's search sodium, and let's search chloride a couple of times, and let's search nitrite. Okay, now on 20. Okay, now we should clear out. So what should be kept here? Aspirin has a search count of 0.
Zuxasi says, Michael Deming, I got hired as a developer for a game.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. Why does aspirin have a search count of 0?
Himalaya Mountain says, hello, what's going on? I am new here.
I got reset. Benzene is a search count of 0. Thanks for the follow on Twitch, dude. Appreciate you so much. We're working on our SpectroSim here.
He wants to make me to code a gun that shoots at a humanoid and does damage to it.
That's awesome, dude. That's really exciting. Okay, we just need to figure this out. Update. Search. This increases it by 1. So on the clear,
Zuxasi says equals my bad.
we set it to 0. We set it to 0. We update the total search. So we clear the cache here, which sets it all to 0. You don't get any content, and that is give name and content. And this gets the content. Total search count 0 plus 1. So we have an issue where if you search a compound, you get a search count of 0. So like, watch, if I do aspirin over and over and over again here until I go all the way up to total search count of 20. Okay, my aspirin total search count here is 20. If I reset this, let me look up aspirin here and search it. Okay. So I get a search count of 1 there. Okay, so then let me not reset this to 0. This is where it's happening. Let me reset it to 1.
The way I learned to print in Python.
It would have 1 search. Okay, there we go. So now if I go, that would fix the bug. So now if I go aspirin, let's do it a couple more times. Let's do, now if we do benzene, we run this one a bunch, all the way up to 20. Okay, so we have 5 searches for aspirin and 15 searches for benzene. So if I search one more time, boom, this clears out, leaving those 2 because those were hot, giving a 1 and also giving a 2 for that initial search. Interesting. So I'm gonna also say finished. I'm gonna say final search. Ooh. Right, is gonna be passed into here, and this is gonna be the name. And so compound clear was gonna be our final search. Right, our final search. If compound data, or if compound compound name equal to so then I don't want to reset to 0, I want to reset it to 1 for that search that got ran. And then compound name equals to, if compound name equals to final search, then we're going to set compound data search count equals to 0, because we add it in here. Okay, so now if I go here, cache, so this has a search count of 2, this has a search count of 1. If I keep searching benzene, let me also search aspirin a few more times. Okay. So now we have 12 searches, 6 on aspirin, 8 on search count. So these both will be retained, but whichever one we finish on will get updated to 1 or updated to, both will be on 1 now. So if I go here to 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 20. So this will be the 21st search, which will reset it back to 1, giving aspirin and benzene both a count of 1. Well, I just hit it twice, I think, so I might have goofed. Such an idiot. Well, aspirin should have 2 now. 1. Why did this total search count go up by 2? Okay, reset to 2. Total search count goes to 0. And then right, because we're adding it in there. So now if I go searching aspirin this whole time, back to 1, 1, nice. Now if I search methylene blue, this will give me null. There it was. If I search search aspirin a couple more times. Okay, so aspirin's got a total of 5 searches, so it will be retained. Now let's search for benzene a few times here. Okay, so now, and then let's search for just caffeine once. Okay, now let's keep searching for aspirin. Okay, now here we should only retain benzene and aspirin and reset to 1. Come on, what's going on? Ooh.
Duardo says, try with oxygen.
Okay, so we have if compound name is equal to final search, compound data, search count equals to 0. This guy here. Else compound data, search count equals to 1. Compounding none type object does not support item assignment. Okay, so if it's add, okay, we don't want to do any more checks then. So we're going to continue here. So now on here, I go search. That resets, perfect. Back to 1, benzene, back to 1. Nice. Okay, I think that's it. Oh boy. That was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. So now let's just set this cache threshold to like 50 searches. Hmm. 500 searches. And then we'll go to our threshold and we'll make this be, you have to search it minimum of 10 times to be retained. Okay, nice. Okay, let's go ahead and push this. Add auto cache clear on threshold, on search threshold. Add auto cache clear on search threshold. Okay, we'll get push that. Okay. All right, you guys. So we currently have this so far. I think we're ready. I don't know. I feel like we're not ready, but we are ready. What do you guys think? Should we just go for it? Anything we should change? So I'm going to go to my footer actually. So my features, footer, I'm going to remove this part here. Powered by PubChem.
Tim says wait a few minutes, I need to chill my lemonade.
So then I'm gonna get rid of this. Take this link. Ooh. and I'm gonna put it here. Okay, 2025 SpectroSim powered by PubChem. So then let's make this also a link. So I'm gonna say powered by PubChem. And you'll go to, where's our nav at? Or no, our absorption page. How's that here?
Douglas Dark says good evening.
Hey, how's it going? Here. What I want to do with this is the link for PubChem. So I'm going to say, I'm also going to take this link and I'm going to put it on the SpectroSim. It's going to be SpectroSim. And this is going to have a route to slash. There we go, back home. So then I'm going to apply the same hover we are to the one on the home page or the other page. So now we have a hover effect across all three. So make this small. Yeah, that's fine. And then we'll just say GitHub. Okay. Now let me get rid of this padding here. Keep the pad. Huh. There's padding on the bottom. Okay, so let me go here to my layout. Padding is 6. Padding. Padding left. Padding top. So then if I give a padding on the bottom of like 12, oh no.
Douglas Dark says what's coming soon?
I'll just leave it as was. Some more simulators, so we could do like some different types of spectroscopy simulations here, and like some more transmissions, right? Okay, that looks nice. Okay. Spectroscopy simplified. Okay, so hold on. Let's go to our nav. Where'd you go, nav? Here you are. Okay, right, we have this hover group, relative group here. So group hover flex. Group hover flex column. What if I say wrap? There we go. Nice. So maybe I should just actually delete the coming soon part. It's not even clickable, so there's no point. Absorption. So if I apply a hover, let me hover. How can that stay? So I'm going to take this, I'm going to say, I don't know how to do this, so I'm going to say, how can I have the hover color change stay on the parent of the group when naving through the sub elements?
Douglas Dark says, are you from Europe? Cause looking at your window it looks like early morning from here.
Okay, so it says to, no, I'm in California. It's 7:45 p.m. right now. It's just really overcast. Okay, so we have, so relative group is inline block cursor pointer, hover text slate, and we're gonna say also group hover. Okay, so now that stays good. So then this is absolutely hidden. Group hover, flex, group hover, flex column, group hover.
Duardo says, I am from Salt Lake City.
Oh, nice.
says, do you go to BYU?
I went to Utah State. That's where I graduated from. So then I'll say here. If I say 400 here. What if I say, what if I make this 400?
Zooxasy says, Duardo, I'm really close to you. Zooxasy says, like one sure away. Zooxasy says, our.
Say 500 here. There we go. So now it's a little bit darker. What if I say 600? So it goes like really dark when you select it. So I could even make it like have it be dark itself, and then when you hover on it, it becomes light, so you can select it, right? Okay, so I want to say.
Tim says, will you ever go back to visit Utah State?
Text slate 200, so that's the normal, and then let's say on hover
Duardo says, wait, are you live in Utah? Zooxasy says, Michael Deming, I got done making that gun for the owner and he paid me $100.
Nice, dude. Cha-ching! So what do you guys like? Do you guys like that these go gray and then that is darker gray? Like I'll make this like even darker, like 700. So then you can select it like that. Or do you like it the other way around? I don't like this. I think it's kind of hard to see it at first. I kind of want to go back. So this one has 500, 500, 500. I'm gonna go to the 400 though. I did like that a lot better than the 500. Right.
Zooxasy says, Duardo, yes.
And then we can make this just go darker to like 600. We can make it even go like blue. Yeah, I like that. Looks good. Okay. All right. That looks good. That looks good. That looks really good. That looks really good. Oh, community padding.
Tim says, what's the coming soon part?
Just any other simulators we want to make. So I need a little bit of padding on that plot. Okay, so let's go to our app AbsorbSim page. Let's go down to the bottom where our plot is. Plot and download button. This is the plot itself right here. This is the download button. So I'm going to give a margin bottom, or I'll give a padding bottom, let's say 4. I do like 8. So if I scroll up, if I scroll here, there's like 4. Pushes it down. What is the difference? Does it change? No. Okay. That looks good. All right, I think we're getting ready here. Okay. Okay, let's go over here. Let's go here, say. Okay, I am ready to launch my project. I would like some guidance on how to host my backend and my front end. I have my backend is running Python with fast API, and I do have a dynamic cache for writing compounds and saving them to JSON within the backend. My front end is with React and Tailwind, and all of these are found within the root SpectroSim directory. I have a front end and back end subdirectory within.
Tim says bro is peak vibe coding.
Peak vibe coding. I need to learn how to do this. I've never done it I never split it off before. Okay, you can run Python backend while also running Python conserve Vite. Backend, main, front end, Vite, Tailwind project. Cache is in the backend. Deploying with render most cache friendly. Deploy the fast API backend. Create a render YAML for easier setup. So web, main SpectroSim backend, Python, free, pip install, unicorn. Make sure your requirements includes. Okay, let's go into our backend. Let's go cd backend. Oop. Let's go pip freeze requirements.txt. Okay, so this gave us all the requirements that were needed. Okay, then we'll go cd front end. To persist your JSON cache, move it to a mounted volume or render disk-based storage, or use a workaround like writing to temp. Render's free tier may reset files on redeploy. Long-term persistence should eventually use a database, SQLite, or TinyDB. Redeploy the React frontend. Build your Vite project, cd frontend, npm run build. It will output a distribution. So hold on. So let's quickly add in this render.yaml to our front end. Or no, to our back end. Okay, in our back end we're going to do touch render.yaml. And then I'm going to take this guy here, which basically just like configurations for render.com. Okay. We have our requirements. Okay, so let's go into our program. We'll get add, get commit, add requirements, back end configs. Okay. Now let's go git checkout main, git merge dev, git push, okay, git status, okay, we're all pushed up on main. Okay, we can go cd front end, npm run build. Building. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's happening. It's happening! Okay. You can then option a deploy separately via render static site. Serve front end from back end.
Tim says insert it's happening meme from the office.
Okay, so we need to go into our back end one more time. Okay, so let's go Python.
Duardo says I just asked GPT to create GTA 7 in Python and it was a big disappointment. Just cancelled my subscription.
Okay, cd backend. So in our main app here, we're going to add this. Add this thing here. Static files and app.mount. Static files from front-end distribution. Okay, so let's test it locally before deploying, it says. Okay, let's try this. So let's exit out of all this junk. Not junk. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, so if I say git, or I say cd backend, wants us to run Uvicorn Backend. Oh no, hold on. No, let's go. Uvicorn Backend dot main app reload. Module classes. Wonder if I go just this one. No, hold on. Let's go CD back. Okay. So the CD backend. Domain. Okay, let's launch the backend on render. Let's go to render.com. Let's sign in here. GitHub. Safari. Okay, let's go dashboard. Sign in. Okay. Go new web service. Public Git repository. Okay, so let's go to GitHub here. I'm going to go to SpectroSim. Copy this. Connect. Okay. SpectroSim backend. Language Python 3 branch main root directory is going to be back end. It's going to go back end. so we want to say main. What's the root dirt for this? My start command. So my build command. I don't know. What's going on here? This one. If runner runs a command instruction inside the root directory, additional code changes outside the directory don't trigger auto redeploy most common users on a repo. Yes, Spectro. Backend, I think that. My backend. Root directory is backend. So let's go here, there you go. Let's see here. Let's see here. We're deploying here. Canceled though. Build successful. Okay. So this will just take me to my backend. Let's see what does this take us to? So not found. Okay. (502). Okay, next. Let's try this. Write.config.js. Index.html. Source, write config.
Douglas Dark says, did you put both the back and front on the same repo, or did you separate them?
They're both on the same repo, but I distinguish the roots on renders. We'll see how this works. Where's your front end? Okay, so let's go to Vercel. Okay, let's add new project. Import SpectroSim. Create React app. Framework is Vite. Root directory. Front end. Output directory. Dist, yes. Deploy. Okay, that was really easy. Okay. Oh boy. Unicorn, okay, it's transformed. Okay, it's doing its thing. So let's go over here and let's take this failed and let's see what it says. So go to render dashboard. Go to the settings tab in my service. Scroll down to start command. Edit and replace with this. Alright, it's deploying there. Oh, okay. Add a domain. Okay, so let's go to our other domains here. We have SpectroSim, so let's go to Cloudflare. Login. Fingerprint. On trig. Okay. SpectroSim. Okay, here's SpectroSim. edit. Okay. Add a domain.
Victoria says, let me visit.
SpectroSim.com. Add domain. Okay, so then I configure into here. DNS. Okay. And record. A. That for root. Save. Add record. CNAME. Now if I go to
Tim says we did it.
well, not yet, not yet. Not yet. Yes! Okay. Now we gotta make sure our backend is working.
Victoria
Oh,
says
no.
it refreshing. Come on, man.
Oh no. Oh no.
Victoria says Wadu hat.
um.
Mohan says I'm getting dumber. Mike lead 643 took me like 1H in cook. Tim says the backend is broken.
Oh. Okay, I know what's wrong.
Tim says it's official. Mohan is washed. Tim says time to retire bug.
Bug. Thanks. Okay, we should have an event here. Okay, let's see if this links up. Come on, link up, baby.
Junaid says can you explain Tesseract library in Python?
No. What? Nah, that'll have to be a YouTube video. Alright, installing packages. Ah, I'm nervous. So we got our front end hosted. That's the easy part here. Front end looks good.
Mahan says, can you guys refer me to a McDonald's as a cleaner?
That looks really good. It's still building.
Tim says, just ask Jose at the register.
Tim, chill. Tim getting angsty out here. I had to pay my car registration today. So I got ripped. So does it have to have this? Uploading, okay. It's still working. Still going here. Build successful? Meh. Deploying. Oh, it's still deploying. It's still going. It's still going. My bad. My bad. Let me go grab us a snack. I'll be right back, you guys. Oh, it's running.
Mahan says, why does it say 127,001 though?
127,001. Ah! Web scraper line 99.
Tim says, lead 643 looks like fun.
Try that again. Let me grab a snack.
Mahan says, sliding window, but I prefix summed it and took long cause I forgot my prefix sum is 0 index.
Dang it. Failed.
Mohan says, Mike, you should proxy all API calls so backend and frontend deploy at the same time. IDK if you done it.
No, definitely not. I have not. That means the API is trying to serve static files from front-end district. It doesn't exist in the network. Add a build step to your render backend service. Update the backend service build command in render.yaml or the render dashboard under build command to settings. Build command. Edit. CD front end. CD. You can manually invite build.
Mohan says, Mike, you said you gonna deploy this one on Versal.
It is on Versal, dude.
Victoria says, first. Mohan says you forgot already. Victoria says.
You have a mono repo structure. Fast API is trying to serve static files from front end dist, but dist doesn't exist during deployment unless Byte builds it.
Mohan says lol.
Deploy both front and back end together, ideally through render. What was that? Hey, we got a Prime sub! Look at that! Danny! Thanks so much, dude! Wow! Look at us! Thanks, dude! I appreciate the Prime sub. Thank you so much, man. You're awesome. Let's modify the build command dashboard to this. Because my main...
Deniaguis says no problem, enjoy.
Welcome in, dude. I appreciate you coming in. What you working on? Thanks so much for the sub, and thanks for the support, man. What have you been working on? Tell me more about yourself. So our main app, I have this static. I have this.
Abdul says, yo, is that GitLab?
Directory, static files, directory equals to front end path. such file or directory. There's an issue with.
Gianquido says you don't need to serve the static files from the server because you are already hosting the frontend in Versal.
So let's say my root in render is backend, not move the render root project. Pip install backend requirements. That would probably work. I go down here. Backend requirements. The root directory, we're going to edit this to just okay, what happens if we build here? So our front end works. Our front end is hosted on Vercel nice and easily. Backend, that's the hard part here. All right, let's see what's going on. It's building.
Denaiaguis says, what are you building?
Oh, so let's go to cores. We have localhost here. So localhost, and then we have front-end domain, HTTP. As what was that? Was that a follow on Twitch? What was that? Oh crap, I missed it. Someone just hit me with a follow on Twitch. Thank you so much for the follow. All right, we're almost there. So here, we need this to be SpectroSim.com. And then we can delete this part about static files. So I go git add update. So that pushed. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. We're doing it one more time. Let's try it again. This is GitHub. We're using Render and Vercel to host. Mr. Abdul, welcome, welcome. Appreciate you for coming in. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys subscribe. I appreciate you guys for being here. Status doesn't exist. At build time remain unchanged. Resolve at runtime. Hey, follow! I like that. I'm gonna make the Twitch alerts a little bit bigger. I like the Twitch alerts. They're fun. Ah. What's this mean? I don't know what this means. Let's keep troubleshooting here. Oh, so our build command is back. Okay, so our build command was bad.
Giant Quiddo says, do you need to compile the frontend there if you are already hosting it on Versal?
I don't really know. I'm trying to figure this out here. I'm trying to figure this out. I haven't done something this elaborate before. Done version. So we got our front end hosted up here, which looks really nice. We just need the back end to get hosted up here. Okay, so far so good. Transforming.
Granzer says, did you learn React beforehand or just went into this project with very low knowledge of the language?
Yeah, I've used React once before with my portfolio website, michaeldeming.com, and then so this is my first time with Tailwind, so I really like Tailwind. It's really nice to use. So now we built this site here. Uploading, okay. Not bad.
Douglas Stark says, I've noticed in your project you do have a PyCache file outside the backend folder. Isn't that a problem?
No, it's being git ignored.
Mahan says, question, if you don't use the site, will the first request take longer till render turn on or it's immediate?
I think so, because I'm on the free version. Yeah, I think so. We'll test it out, though. No. Error loading. We might not be able to get this tonight. But I can't find the main app at the root because your main app lives in the backend folder. Update the start command and render. It's always something. To edit, we gotta make this go backend. Save changes. But the thing is this isn't gonna work though. I've already tried this.
Michael and Lua, my friend, is working to connect to a signal light in real life to break it with coding.
Right, so if I do this UV core backend.
Mohan says Versal don't accept backend deployment or somehow is sensing the wait time so soon as you load from the back auto run?
I don't think it we'll keep our cache. I'm not sure though. I really don't know. I'm just trying stuff out. Y'all asking me questions like I know stuff. Listen, I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm just trying to figure stuff out here. Okay, so we're deploying or uploading build. Deploying.
Zooxity says what does the cache do? Mohan says same here so.
It just, so what the cache does is, so it will, on file, on JSON, it will, within a certain search threshold until it's met, it'll keep most recent searches so we don't have to query. Yeah. So I got this last time. Okay, so now I need to figure out why. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so for some reason, I'm getting this error here.
Tim says good night, Mike. Congrats in advance, King.
Classes.compound, which is in main, which goes to classes. So why, I don't know why it doesn't detect this. I always try. Relative imports, .classes, .compound. It only works if the main file is part of a package, i.e. the backend has an init py file. So let's put on the backend a what do I put in here? We can leave them empty. So the backend. Okay, I want to do it in my backend. Stop with this crap.
Granzer says should
No.
be able to keep that init empty and it would work.
Module web scraper. Let's see here. All right, let's try this again. Let's try it again, boys. Let's see what we can do here. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. I know these deployment days aren't the most entertaining things. It's a lot of troubleshooting, figuring out what's going on with the project, but it'll be worth it once we have it going. We can add it to our portfolio and start applying for some jobs here. Woo! What do you guys think about that? I'm gonna make a 1-year programming video also when I deploy this to also go over like my 1-year recap. So, as well. So lots of stuff's coming on the channel. Whackathon. You guys, no one responded to my Whackathon post yesterday. No one responded. What do you guys think about the idea? Okay, let's see here. All right.
Says, hey, I'm building something really cool.
Hey, dude. What's up, Anon? Welcome back in, dude.
Douglas Stark says, when do you plan to do it, the Whackathon?
I posted, so in the channel, the idea I want to do, so go give some feedback on that idea, and we have to come up with a weekend.
Do a 6-hour guide to Python, how to code in Python beginner to advanced, that would be nice.
6-hour guide? What? Bruh. I have like, honestly, the try it yourself practice problems are honestly enough to learn from the Python crash course that I've been uploading. If you just do all those problems, you'll have a pretty good understanding of Python. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Come on, show me the money. Come on. Come on. Oh, we're live. We're live. We're live. Okay. No. What happened? What happened?
Says, I don't think my message went through lol. Zooxasy says, we. Zooxasy says, capital W. Mohan says, bomb mic.
I don't know what's this. Oh gosh, what is this? 404? Dang it.
Zooxasy says, GG cook.
Resource not found. The request not found.
Mohan says, I was about to jump from my seat.
Yeah, I don't know. What do we do? What do we do? Oh, we're back.
Zooxasy says, what happened it?
I think our request is just going through.
Mohan says, usually when it doesn't find the API it brings that page.
I think this is just the request time. Oh.
Anand says, check the network tab. Alternating says why browser and not desktop app?
Why not? So this fetch failed. This is gonna be hard. So I'll say
Alternating says do you plan to have the website posted so anyone can access it, otherwise a desktop app could be the move. Granzer says, you able to look at this failure on the backend?
I'm looking here for logs. I don't see any logs on my backend. Status block. I'm gonna copy this. Seeing blocked other fetch requests.
Riddle says, hey bro, good evening.
Course error. The backend isn't allowing front-end origin. You mentioned using something on this in the config. Update origins to allow for all testing or explicitly add your deployment front-end domain.
Anand says your origin is blocked.
If you use fetch, your front-end in the front-end. So let's go to our.
Stark says, how are you connecting the front to the back as in authorization and course?
Okay, so here, let's look here. We want to say SpectroSim. It's rerouting, so maybe we need to say SpectroSim.
Riddle says, got the cache clearing logic finalized and set up?
Yeah, we finished the cache already. So I'm gonna say I got my cores middleware here. Let's see here. Looks mostly good. If your front end is hosted on.
Checked out the network tab.
Calls are from target.
Anand says the URL is configured incorrectly. Zuxasis says this is to print hello world in Malboj.
Actual backend render URL. No, that's not what I was wondering. So if I say.
Anand says you're making the request to the localhost URL.
So I'm gonna just take this part here. I'm gonna say. Interested in what it has to say. It looks like it's confirming the route. It's correctly defined. This means your backend gets a request like this. Your front end is probably calling the relative path. But what? Update your front end fetch. Front end fetch. I don't have a front end fetch. Let's go to AbsorbSim page. Source. AbsorbSim.
Anand says check out the Frontend code mic. Make sure you're making the request to the right URL. The network tab shows me the localhost URL.
Yeah, we're checking
I
here.
think Anand might be correct. That is a possibility.
Okay, so we're here. We want to find where we're doing the request. So this is the handle compound search. Patch here. So this is where we want to edit this. This needs to be our base URL. So let's go to my backend on render. Copy. So on the fetch, we need to say HTTPS SpectroSim backend on render.com/absorpsim compound name get method. So now if I push get status here, get add.
Anand says do an exhaustive search in the entire project. Use env variables to configure this request URL if possible.
So now if we go here, events, this is deploying. Oh, I'm getting tired, boys. It's a lot of work. Launching projects is a lot of work. A lot of debugging here. Well, it just goes to show that we didn't have things set up properly or like converted over. So there's a lot more from going from a local environment, converting over like all those local like links or and whatnot, local host links into the actual front end and back end, what you actually are hosted on and stuff, those actual links. Okay, 72 modes transformed. I learned JavaScript or Python if I want to do web dev. Definitely probably JavaScript. But I personally, JavaScript is my arch nemesis for some reason. I just like look at it and my brain just falls apart. But Python, I can just write for like 4 hours straight. Python. I don't know, I really like Python. Okay, successful.
Douglas Dark says, is there any clarifications you could give on Project Delta? Anand says,
oh yeah,
environments are fragile. That's the reason there is an entire team devoted to DevOps in large companies.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I bet like making sure that the right environment is what's being live and making sure it's all working appropriately and being hosted appropriately. That's probably a whole slew of people, probably huge departments of tech companies that just manage hosting the product and making sure the product is healthy on wherever it's hosted, right? All right, we're live. Okay, let's give it a shot. Uh-oh. File not found.
Says clear your cache.
Oh, it doesn't say. Okay, we got an error. File not found.
Eric says just received an offer of 85K software.
Eric!
Years of experience.
Eric! Yeah, it's 2 years of experience. Yeah, I'd say that's a good gig, dude. I mean,
says console log. Hello world JavaScript.
Yeah, 2 years experience, get another year under your belt, 85K, get that extra year of experience, then go for a promotion up to like 115, and then yeah, that's a great starting place.
Eric, let's go.
That's kind of more in line of like kind of more modern STEM based salaries. That's not like the crazy like tech company FANG salaries. That's more of like
Thank you.
that's more of like a very understandable salary for 2 years experience. It's not like those outlier people that are like that come out of college and just get just crazy offers from like tech companies and stuff. Though that's just nuts. I don't know. That just doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's something to be proud of. That's a great offer. Nice, dude. Okay, so I can't find our cache. Okay. Okay. So let me go open up my main. Can't find our cache. So let's say
Granzer says there are a lot of non-phone companies that pay pretty good also.
Let me do
especially
this.
Investment banks.
Cache path is equal to, we're gonna go import os.path. You use like os.path for the cache. How do you do os.path? Dir name. So we have base directory is equal to for cache path. OS path. Say dot dir name. Path. Absolute path of the current file that we're in. We're going to say this is base cache file is equal to right, this is os.path.join base cache compound cache dot right. So then I can go here, cache file with the cache file. So I'm going to search this with cache file.
Anand says so when I refresh your website, it shows me 404 error and I think I know why.
Yeah, I have the logs here. We just need to fix this path. Add pathing to push to front end. Okay, we're deploying again here. Once again. I want to get this project over and done with so I can move on to some leak code and some other projects. We're going to come back to this one and continue on and add some more features and stuff, but um, I do need a break from it for a little bit.
To absorb sim and simply reload. Anand says you will see what I mean.
Building it up, building it up. Come on, show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money.
Anand says create versal JSON in your Frontend project root and add this. Roots, src, comma cat, plus, desc, comma status, 200.
Share Frontend is switching. We almost ready.
Douglas Stark says, refer policy strict origin when cross origin.
Okay, aspirin, let's search. Strict. Okay, console.
Anand says this happens since it is a single page application and
Oh, look at that!
HTML instead of anything.
Got it. Oh, let's go. Let's go methylene blue. Oh, let's go. Feels good. Let's go. What's something I haven't looked up before? Let's see how long it takes. Something that's not in the cache. Let's look up. Oh, what's in the cache right now? This is cool. We got aspirin, benzene, salicylic acid.
Anand says, capital W.
Benzoic acid. Oh, that's not too long. That's pretty fast. Yo, let's go! Woo! So if you do refresh on this route, though, you get 404 not found. If I refresh on the page route.
www.
Somewhere on this. Home path. Setting, matching back and these are going to serve the front end. If use static files with HTML equals true.
Anand says I gave you the solution to this 404 issue, Mike.
Yeah, but it doesn't. So if you go to full path, survey. Refresh. Okay, refresh. Okay, so if I any page that is not home, right? If you're SpectroSim, since header is true, don't need the static. Add a fallback route.
Anand says this is true for all routes except the root.
Okay, so if we say by .config, or is it I think we had to use this for cell JSON in the last time we did it. So let me open up my portfolio website. Vercel JSON. Rewrites. Let me add in my front. Paste in rewrites. Source. This is what I did in my other project, okay? If we say git okay. So if we say go to Vercel. Building. All right. Let's add in here. Building. Deploying. Deployment complete. Looking good so far. Exiting build container. How'd they figure all this stuff out? Like, these sites, they're kind of crazy. I'm over here creating just a simple little
something
primary
that
app.
may not
Meanwhile,
be
there's like
able to
these
return to
crazy
the
sites.
content if someone tries to access my blog using curl from the terminal.
Oh, nice.
Myrtle says so on and Mishra. We have to create Versal JSON if we are deploying to Versal. What if we are deploying somewhere else? Do we still be getting similar errors and follow steps according to hosting, sir? Best-selling Glenbay T6D says. Best.
Okay, so we got that. Let's go to our app now. Oh! Yes. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. So I'm curious. I'm curious to will render keep our updating log as users use the site. Will not persist a growing log or cache by default unless you specify user persistence storing solution. Ephemeral. Use a database. Not a persistent disk. Paid plans.
Anand says, Myrtle VK depends on the provider you're using. Netlify uses redirects. Firebase uses Firebase JSON, etc.
So if I instead convert to SQLite, it will retain okay, so we need to have a disk size. Interesting. So if we want to use so that kind of sucks. I mean, I don't really care because it's not like the project, like I said, it's not reinventing the wheel or doing something crazy. I don't really care that our it turns out that our cache
with other hosting services as well, and we need to use the service's own docs to handle it, right? Myrtle says error.
Yeah, so the site render.com does not let me, unless I have a paid plan, like consistently update storage on disk for my cache. So unfortunately, what I'm gonna have to do, I think, is I'm gonna write a script to cache just a bunch of items. Right, I'm gonna write a script to cache like a ton of items. Prematurely, but it doesn't really matter because it's actually pretty quick. I thought it was going to be kind of slow, but it's pretty fast. So like you can go SpectroSim, AbsorbSim. We can type in sodium, no sodium. I can type in lithium, no lithium. I can type in benzene, and I get benzene really quickly. The download still works. Nice. Shrouded, wow, I look at you being a pro. I can't believe 5 months ago you were reading about Python variables. Yeah, exactly, dude. Thank you so much for that kind message. Thanks, Shrouded. You're awesome, dude. Yeah, look at us, guys.
Use a free host if you do like Neon or Silverbase. And for caching, you can have some free hosted reference. Zuxasi says this C will be helpful. Zuxasi says site.
Yeah, I think like for chemists, like if I was a chemist learning about spectroscopy, I for sure would like use a site like this back in college to like look up certain compounds, get some data on them, see what their visualizations would look like a very simple and easy like, you know, way to do it. Download some.
If the error on refresh is fixed,
Yep. It's all fixed. Looks good. All right, you guys. Woohoo! Woo! All right, you guys gotta put a thumbs up. If you guys are here, you gotta throw a thumbs up on the stream. We just completed our 6th project. Woo! So let's go. Let's get some hype music. Let's get some hype music. Come on.
Zuxasi says is it done? Myrtle says congratulations on completing V1 of SpectroSim.
Here we go, boys. Let's go! Woo! You guys are new, you guys subscribe, like the stream. We completed SpectroSim. Haha! Look at that. All right. So I'm gonna take like a little break for a couple of like days on this project. I'm going to come back and continue on building more simulators, adding more features to the project, and continuing on like with what we've got so far. But this is really, really cool. We have like some really nice, like clean UI here, where you can access, you know, various simulators. You can go to our main page here. You can go to where we're getting our data from. You can access all that information and generate sims. All right, you guys. So we had some questions. Who is in here that asked me about the Wackathon project? I didn't answer your question.
Douglas Stark says try an online DB, maybe Mongo Atlas or Superbase, depending on your cache structure, or other if you...
Yeah, dude, I was honestly thinking about just using like Google Docs. I was thinking about like just requesting Google Doc and just updating the Google Doc file. I don't know if that would work or not, but my brother's calling me. Why is he calling me? He knows I'm streaming.
Zuxasi says I'm of this site. Myrtle says, I'd like to know myself. At Walkathon. Douglas Stark says Google Sheets then, at least. Huh.
Yeah, Google Sheets or something, right? We could have some sort of online database and use just the request module to request our Google Sheet or something. Now, I'm currently just using JSON static file and this up and using with open to open the file, read it into content, add file, and add content to it and save and whatnot. And then if I hit a certain search threshold when detecting various parameters within the content of the file, I wipe the certain aspects of the file to clear out the cache or kind of clean it, and then I put it back and then reset those counts. So now that functionality currently isn't actually serving any purpose on render.com because it's just doesn't actually have any updated whatever or not. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check it out later tonight after I get off stream. Thanks, Anon. Yeah, thanks, Anon, Marildu, or Mreedle, Zuxi, Douglas. You guys are awesome. You guys are beasts. Grainzer. You guys are beasts on YouTube, on Twitch. Eric, congrats on the offer again. You guys are beasts. Mahan, Tim.
He says we're good for coding for only a couple months.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we've been coding for 1 year now. I started with Harvard CS50P back in the beginning of summer of 2024. Very, very part-time, 1 or 2 times a week. Just getting my foot in the water about if I liked programming and wanted to commit to learning it. And then after the summer, I completed the course and started this channel and started reading Python Crash Course, where I started solidifying my learning even further in Python, building projects.
Though I think an online DB would be better, though I'm not sure about the self-cleansing scheduler.
Yeah, we'd have to figure that out for sure. I mean, I could just, if I wanted to, I could just pay for the space, right? I don't really want to pay for it, you know? But it might be an investment to get a job, maybe, right? Pay $5 a month to get a job. But what do you guys, are you guys able to visit the site? What do you guys think on your end? Let me go ahead and check. Let me go ahead and check on mobile. SpectroSim.com. Oh, look at that, boys. That looks really good. That looks really good. That looks really good. Okay. Now we can go. I might want to change up that spacing. It's a little bit too much for the mobile view.
He says I would use this site for science classes. Douglas Stark says that's why I said Mongo, Atlas, or Supabase. Maybe free tier would be enough.
Yeah, Mongo, Atlas, or Super. I have to look up those. I've never heard of those before. I gotta look them up. All right, so we can go to AbsorbSim. Boom! Look at that. Hold on, let me see. Okay. Oh, it doesn't have that kind of hover effect though, because it's mobile, right? So maybe I'll set the mobile.
Myrtle says no, you don't have to pay for render if you use the free tier of DB like Mongo, Neon, Apright, Cockroach, Firebase.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to do some research on some stuff. Yeah, honestly I just don't know a ton about, database stuff, so I need to get better at that for sure. I've only used one database. SpectroSim.com. SpectroSim.com.
Michael says, link.
So for the mobile view, we'll have to make it so that the grayscale is not there, right? So on mobile view, on small screen, the animation isn't taking place. And so then we're here. I'll type in, let's do aspirin. I could share my screen on my phone actually, but
Says you can add on click effects
Woo!
instead of just cover to see some effects on mobile.
Woo! That looks so good. Wow, look at that. That looks really clean on mobile. Caffeine.
Says,
Woo!
works.
That looks so awesome. You can even download on mobile. You can download the plots on mobile. Wow. You can view the plot like with the iPhone feature. I'm so happy with this. Okay, one quick correction I think I am going to make though is I'm going to remove spacing. Or I might put...
Riddle says cause clicking is the only thing that you're gonna do on mobile. Zooxasy
Yeah.
says will stay as a website or make an app.
Y'all are one thing after another. I can't get a break. Make an app. Alright, so everything's looking good with our logs here. We got aspirin. Someone looked up glucose. Someone looked up heal. Caffeine. I can see your guys' searches. Someone looked up glucose. Oh, it's on there. Let's go. I'm really happy with this. If you guys can't tell. Okay, let's just do one thing really quickly here.
Brittle says so. I'd say add on click effects.
Yeah, I have to do on click effects for the mobile, right? So I'll have to do some different stylings, like, so the thing is I can use some use state functions or whatever to like update the state of certain stylings. The only thing is just takes me a little, it does take a little bit of time because it's kind of hard to go back and forth, work it all out.
Says I like the feel of the SpectroSim. Zuxasi says in detail.
You guys are officially, man, dude, this is awesome. We've been building this project for like 3 or 4 weeks now. So it's really, really, really awesome that you guys are finally able to actually like tangibly get your hands on this and use it. Like by having it on the web is like, it's so much easier. Someone came in and asked, why did I have this as a web app and not a desktop app? Like I've done the desktop app with the small business manager, but in terms of just like user ability and being able to get users and to have you guys interact with it from stream and whatnot, and recruiters especially, like for getting a job and on my resume, like I need the site to be accessible just with an internet link so that anyone can do it. And by having it on the internet, I think showcases some skills too. So just off the bat, there are some styling.
I'd say maybe modify the input so to have an autocomplete based on the cache.
Yeah, that could work too. So we could do that as well.
Brittle says where
I've never made an autocomplete before though.
how much
I'd have to
it
think
costs.
about it, figure it out. I bought the domain name from Cloudflare and it was only like $10 a year.
Says is this going on your portfolio?
Oh yeah, dude, it's my best project so far. So these are the projects we've got so far, you guys. We've got my professional portfolio website, chromaplot.com. Render hosts this one. It takes forever to load up. Render. I need to change this over to Vercel. The front end hosting on Render is so bad.
I coded an anti-auto clicker system in my game.
Oh, nice, dude. How'd you do that? Did you detect like...
$10.
Oh, US dollars. Sorry. Like 10, it was like $10 US for a year on Cloudflare. Really, it was pretty cheap. And I figured it's just a $10 investment. So I own 3 domains. I'm paying like $30 a year, I guess. I own michaeldeming.com, chromaplot.com, which is this guy, and SpectroSim now. I also own, well, I don't own, but my my girlfriend owns the Birdie Rose Clothes, and she also owns her name as well. So I think I own those ones though. It's like on my card. So yeah.
Zuxasi says I had to get the logo.
This is ChromaPlot. So this is one of our other projects that we built. ChromaPlot.
What is this?
ChromaPlot is a paper chromatography simulator that we built. So this one, this one actually builds the plots on the server and then serves up GIFs using matplotlib. So it does take a lot more processing power. So like I'll do compound 1 has a 0.5, compound 2 has a 0.3, compound 3 has a 0.1,
Zuxasi
compound.
says then just check if clicks equals 30 clicks. It will hit the user and give them a string saying auto clicker detected.
All right.
Access. In dual K means
Inbuilt k-means? What? So you could run this simulation and it just takes forever to load the plot. The server is pretty slow processing power wise. Because what I'm doing is I'm rendering the plots on the back end and then serving those plots and then onto the front end. So it does, and it has to do like a binary conversion on the plot in order to make it work and all this kind of stuff. So what I did with SpectroSim, what I learned from this was that, okay, now I'm going to try to build plots on the front end. So with SpectroSim, I built plots on the front end, and I'm just transmitting only the calculated y values to the front end. So the server is calculating the y values for the plot. The x values, or the wavelengths, are hard-coded within the page of AbsorbSim for this section, and then I'm just building the plot off of those x and y values. The y values being served and the x values being static. So it's improved it way faster. And then the idea of the cache was to further make it faster. So I was just trying to come up with ways to kind of combat render.com's like free slow service tier, but also just learn more stuff. Like I've never made a cache before, or had like an auto cleaning cache or anything like that. So like that was a cool experience to be able to learn about and like figure out what kind of like what a cache actually does, like what type of parameters, like frequently used searches, or like whatnot, or like or what all those kind of cleaning mechanisms that you can do. So here you can see the plot was served back to us. You can see the solvent travels up at its constant rate of 100%, and then these compounds, they kind of travel in their groupings as kind of mimicking a liquid traveling through a medium, which is what you simulate in paper chromatography in chemistry. And you can see these compounds, the faster the retention factor, the faster that it moves up in line with the solvent. So it would have similar properties to the solvent, and so you could make inferences based on that, or you could, if you had like an unknown compound, you could detect like similar endpoints, like where it finalized, and then you could correlate to, okay, the unknown is compound 4 because it ended up where compound 4 ended, right? So this is chromoplot.com, which is one of our other projects.
I see.
Right, and then we have the Small Business Manager, which was our Python to Kinter desktop application where we built an entire business management system ledger using double entry accounting techniques for tracking sales of both return and original, and expenses, inventory, income statements, and auto-generating balance sheets, which is really awesome. And then we just built a task manager project in Python with datetime, CSV, and Causa, which is really cool. And then for our CS50P final project, I built just a chemical inventory management system.
How fast the compound goes? What does it decide the right compound for formulation?
With chromatography, you can detect things like purity, or like and stuff like that. So for instance, what if compound 1 was like a multi-constituent compound where it had like different elements within it that separate based on interactions with this solvent. So let's say that you then run this experiment, and then the heavier or like less interactive compounds with the solvent would drag behind, whereas you would do simulations like if you would try to, I'm rambling on, but what you actually do in college is like you get like an ink, like black or like blue ink, and you plot it, and then you use the solvent to drag the ink through the medium, and the ink separates out into its kind of chroma elements, like blue, like purple is like blue and red or whatever, right? It'll separate out into its various things, which is cool. So you can detect like if compounds have purity, like levels of purity, like things like that. Oh, yeah, I have to just put it on here. So we just launched it today. I haven't put it up here yet, man. Yeah, so what we'll do is I have components. It's really easy. I set up the components just to be able to use as like Legos basically. So I'll just restructure these same components to add another project onto my page. It's really, really easy using React to just add a kind of a repeating element, in this kind of project format. So I have this as like a template almost, where I can just provide a title, provide the languages, provide a description, provide a website, and provide a link, and provide a copyright date, and it will build this little thing for me and just stick it on the page. So I just need to do that. We'll do that tomorrow. All right, you guys, I think I'm gonna head out for tonight. This was a super successful day. We have officially launched our SpectroSim. Spectrum. Oh, yes, sorry. So Project Delta. if you guys were in my Discord, let's talk about this. So I want to talk about Project Delta. So I gave kind of a long ramble spiel about kind of what this looks like. Just some bullet points here in my Discord. If you guys aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, for the channel, as we've been growing, I want to do a community-based event where we all can program together and build a project over the course of like a weekend or a few weeks, on and off, where we can like assign out like certain assignments or like areas of development.
Mike deployed SpectroSim.
Yeah. So let me quickly turn off the TTS real quick so I can feel this out. So my whole goal with the Wackathon is we can build together over the course of a weekend. We can continue elongate the time frame and divvy out like assignments to people like, hey, you can build this feature. Hey, I want to volunteer to build this feature, and we can work together to really build something cool here over the course of some time. Now, I think I have a really cool idea, and it's kind of more of like an abstract idea that allows the user to be able to have a lot of customization to their project tracking or tracing. So I took this idea actually from my like work experiences. So at work, there's tons of like these project improvement processes in manufacturing. So if you guys ever worked in manufacturing or just any kind of corporate environment, they're always trying to find ways to reduce costs, cut lead times, cut delays, track, employees and whatnot. Now, I'm not trying to create a micromanagement tool in any way because I don't believe in that, but I want to create a tool that actually would be able to have more of an open-ended feel for project tracking and reporting. So, what does that look like? Well, I have this kind of brief idea, kind of name of Project Delta, like the project, like Project Change, like what it's kind of like a cool like tech name. So, what is Project Delta? So, think of it like this, where the user has the ability to create a project. Let me get a whiteboard out here. Right, so you have an ability on your homepage to create a project. Right? Now, this project can have a few things to it, right? It can have like not waste management during manufacturing per se, but just it's more open-ended. It's not like such a niche tool for one division. It can be for anything. Projects of coding projects as simple as like build woodworking projects. Like it can be any kind of tracking project that you want to kind of more optimize or streamline. So you can create an overall project, and then within this project you can give a start date, right? You can give an end date or a completion date or a desired completion date, right? And then you would like pre-pick tags. Now, what are tags, right? Now, the tags is kind of my way of, or my idea of tracking these metrics, right? So, so think about this. Like, now I'm trying my best to break down all of the features without being confusing and kind of confusing you guys about where things are or what we're doing here. But I think once you guys wrap your head around like the flow of it, I can make a flow map for how the product actually works, and we can share that in the Discord. But you create a project, you have a tentative start date and a potential or a desired completion date, and based off that, your project opens up and is based off kind of like a calendar kind of format where it has like maybe you could also put in like some like prep lead time, right? You could do like prep lead time, right, as well as a start date to give you like a little bit of a pre-buffer on your calendar before you actually have your start date. So you could apply like a little bit of a buffer lead time for any preparations or stuff like that. Now, what this hat will do is it'll open up kind of like an overarching or blank kind of calendar associated with these parameters of your start date and your buffer lead time and your desired completion date, right? Now, what now potentially you might be able to add like other users to your project. Now that's kind of getting into the weeds of stuff we don't need to worry about right now, but my whole goal with this is that the users can make um, daily entries on those calendar days, probably web. So the user can make daily entries on those calendar days as like events or actions. Those are the two words I'm deciding for. Like we whether want to have an event take place on that day or an action take place. I'm thinking action is the better word for this kind of descriptor. So the user can have, let's say on the start date, they have the action of starting or whatever, right? So that they would, they would say, okay, I on this day, this calendar day, which syncs up to the current date, right? I can make an action, right? And so I will log an action that I did today. And so let's say I started the project and and then what you can do is on these actions is you can apply specific tags. Now the tags are what is being traced throughout the project. So let's say that there is a tag, kind of like a function called like a delay tag. Well, you can apply this delay tag, and a parameter of the delay tag is a number of days applied for the delay, right? A time constituent. So you apply the delay tag to your event or your action because you were delayed, and then you put in 1 for 1 day delayed. And then that would automatically, right? That would automatically take your desired completion date and increase it by the delay tags to give you a projected completion date, right? So that's kind of like the flow. That's just a simple example. Like there's many other tags that you can add on to this. You could further even like you could define the delays even further, like a material delay. You could even further have these children of these parent tags delay, material delay, testing material delay, whatever delay it might be for your specific project, right? You can create custom tags beforehand, but on the project generation is you could pre-pick from an allotment of already set tags that the site offers, such as a delay tag or whatnot, or like a start tag or an end tag or complete tag. Those will come by default, right? So that like on that day is already associated with the start tag or whatever. So you know try to think about it like in more of an open-ended. It's very very like customizable to the user's projects. It just has the ability, yeah, like lead time and you know cost, in terms of like, so at the end you can be given a report of basically how at what points in your project did you have these delay codes, and at what was the total amount of time summed under these delay codes that pushed your project, your projected completion date away from your desired completion date. All the delays and captured and lead time is optimized based on that. Yeah, exactly. So then now what I had to even kind of more fine tune your project is you could add something called a phase, right? So you have a project. Within your project, on your days, you have individual actions that can take place on your project days. But inside your project, you can kind of break it up into its individual kind of forums or branches, project branches, as these phases, right? So like you could establish on a certain day you want to have this phase start. And then if you don't get to that, you would apply like the tag associated with it, and then it would push that phase out, to the different, projected date or whatever. So it sounds, a little bit tricky right now. There's a lot of things we have to like work out, but in my opinion, kind of this more open-ended customization for project management by applying like specific tags to daily actions and then having those tags be cumulatively reported at the end and then you can directly trace back to that where that tag was placed by. It can have like a specific hash code associated with the tag itself, so you can go click on the tag and just find in your project timeline exactly where that tag is. If you have like a sum of all of your delay tags for that example, how does that sound? It sounds like a cool idea in my opinion. Now, it's not like the craziest. We're not building like a game or anything. We're not building. It's not gonna be like, it's a project management tool, and like it's it's exciting in kind of like a different way, in my opinion. If you guys are interested in building something like this with me, please let me know in the Wackathon in the Discord and give me some feedback. Yeah, that's my spiel. What do you guys think? Baby, I'm fooling. Baby, I'm coolin'. What is those lyrics? Whole lot of love lyrics. What does Robert Plant say? He says, "You ain't coolin', baby, I'm foolin'." Okay. I never know what the actual first word is. It says you need coolin'. Okay. That song's been stuck in my head. All right, you guys. Today was super fun. We built up and deployed our SpectroSim onto the web, where you can access my absorb sim and create these simulations. Yeah, not to be. We think we need to document the requirement. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so John, I was actually I was getting eager last night. I had to really stop myself from starting to write some classes in Python. So I really wanted to start writing some classes in Python to kind of track these overall attributes for these projects and project phases and whatnot. But I wanted to wait until we got it all together. Well, do you have any like questions I can answer regarding it, you guys? Yeah, Douglas, definitely. So, like, I really, I honestly don't know how we're gonna manage this project. I'm gonna try my best to be kind of like a project manager and kind of administer these assignments and stuff. So it's on me all within the Discord, and we can just kind of come up with a flow map of what we would like to at least first get started with before we kind of pack on more features and like get the bare bones of what we actually need to get, the a sort of proof of concept going before we start adding on a bunch of polishing features to further solidify the product. But yes, we're gonna definitely need to discuss in the Discord, divvy out assignments, talk about tasks, what people are comfortable with. We'll have to come up with obviously like color palettes for the front end and design schemes and things like that. But honestly, you guys, like I do think that there's quite a lot of promise in a project like this for having some real world application and for like having some potential customers and users. Tags and phases. So think about like you have your overarching project, and then you can just like specify certain phases to take place within the project. Like just to further break it down. These are completely optional. Like you could just have an open-ended project of just blank calendar days where you just have a potential start date, end date, and then on each day, on those days, you can make actions that you did to further along the project's pace, and then apply tags to have those tracking elements take place. So tags is kind of just like a descriptive element to apply to your daily actions so you can track them. So think like a delay tag. So let's say that I'm working on my project, and I'm working today on June 9th, and I come into the lab and I am out of materials, and I wasn't expecting that. Uh-oh, or it's expired. So I would go into the log so my manager can stay up to date with what I am at. I make an action for that day. I say just a small description for the action would be like, hey, went into the lab to complete this task, complete this part of the project. Testing materials were expired. Delay, and then you apply a delay tag of delay tag, and the delay tag has a time constituent, like a a function attribute to it, and then of like a day or amount of days at the time. And so then your certain tags can change your project events, like your end date. So if your end date is specific like tomorrow, but we have a 1 day delay, then my projected end date is not tomorrow anymore. It's the 11th, right? It's not the 10th, it's the 11th. For me, it's the 9th right now. So for you, it's probably the 10th. But so that's how the tags would kind of adjust, potentially have the ability to adjust our project parameters to have those projections take place, or just to help track and more fine tune specific kind of like bucketing of daily actions, right? So like let's say like I did a filtration of a product, I could apply a filtration tag. So then at the end of the product, you could go and filter your project for all of those filtration tags, and like a physical filtration, like I mean like actually like pushing it through a filter, like what I do at work. You could filter and then see on what day those all took place, right? I think for some time we know how much we know. Yeah, so we'll need to have like an enrollment for the wackathon. So I do need to have like a Google form that I'll make, so we have like a for sure set like team that we can like have. So right now I'll go ahead and work on that and get like open enrollment for the wackathon going. So if you guys are wanting to that, be on the lookout in the Discord for the Google form to actually enroll in this 2025 wackathon, um, where we'll build this project. I had a project manager use something called ranking matrix in Excel to track the project during sprints. Yes, so tags are completely customized by the user, right? They will just add it onto their specific action for that day, just to further bucketize what they did, right? Or apply some like functional, feature to adjust their project timeline. Everyone seems excited about this. I'm excited. It's definitely a really cool idea. Insomniac sounds like his project manager used something similar, kind of more of a custom Excel thing though. So yeah, there's definitely like cases for this to be used. And in my own work, I can attest you guys, like my project managers and my management, they are desperately trying to find ways to track complex projects. And that's why I wanted to, yes, Gantt charts, like exactly like that. What's it called? PPI, product PPI and stuff. If you guys are familiar with all these kinds of concepts like Gantt charts, PPI, Gemba, like all these kinds of project improvements in manufacturing and just corporate in general, right? We can it's for some projects it's so hard to kind of set things in stone, because there's like delays that happen, and especially in manufacturing. So to have something be flexible, that's the real kind of kicker for this project, is that I think is enticing, is its flexibility, because project managers, at least at my work, are desperately looking for a tool that allows for the flexibility of any type of project to be kind of incorporated into a formatting of this type. If the target is customization, maybe it'll be easier to set the inverse, as in what will be its hard rules. Yeah, that's true too. Like, what do we not want to have to customize? And then start from there. So I'm thinking, like, at the very least, like we get that overarching project structure going, where you have a start date, a potential start date, a potential buffer, like lead time to that start date, a projected or a desired end date or completion date, and then you get like a baked in kind of hidden instance variable of that class, um, right, for like the projected end date, which gets adjusted based on your tags and your timeline and stuff, right? We don't. I don't know when it will start yet. I've been kind of advertising this event for a few weeks now. I honestly I don't get a lot of feedback when I post stuff in the Discord regarding it. So if you guys are interested in wanting to set some dates up and get something going, please respond to those messages in the Discord. But it probably, I'm gonna, like I said, make the open enrollment with a Google form and get a group of people together that all are interested, and then we'll close it. and then we'll set a date from there to start and get some things going. Now, I think the project is too big to complete in one day, especially that we're not in person. So it'll probably be over the course of like a few weeks that we'll be building this like on and off, and people can build in their own time and submit pull requests to the repo, and I can review them on stream and pull them in, and it'll be a lot of fun to build this over some time. Baby, I'm coolin', yeah, I'm foolin'. Project Delta, let's go. All right, you guys, I'm gonna head out here. Thank you guys so much for joining me here, and I really appreciate it. If you have any more questions regarding the Project Delta or whatever name we want to come up with for that project, I was thinking maybe like Pacer would be kind of cool, like just Pacer or Project Delta or something like that would be cool for names. So thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you check out SpectroSim if you're wanting to look at our new site and get interactive to what we built. You guys can check out the code live on my GitHub. Gotcha. Rip Jira. Yeah, we're putting Jira out of business, right, Douglas? I like that. I like that. I've never used Jira before, so I don't really know anything about it, but people have brought it up a few times when I brought up this project. But yeah, check out SpectroSim. It's live on the web, and yeah, it's awesome, you guys. Thanks so much for being here and joining me today. Custom code this? What do you mean custom code? What does custom code mean? If you guys are not subscribed and you guys are here, please subscribe. I stream every single day around 7 p.m. PST after my 9 to 5 job as a formulation chemist. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company. You could also use SharePoint, Power Apps, Power Automate to do this. Oh, gotcha. You're talking about just like sharing things. Yeah, it'll probably be through, honestly, through GitHub. Oh, like Power Apps and SharePoint. You mean for like hosting thing? Or I don't even know. I'm not sure what you. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm heading out. I'm tired. Project is SpectroSim is ready to go. We'll keep working on it over the time, but this looks really awesome. I'm super happy with it so far. This is so cool. Thank you guys so much for being here. Join the Discord. Please subscribe to the YouTube if you're not, and please like the stream. It really helps to keep us pushing. We stream for 3 hours and 42 minutes, 43 minutes, so a really, really long stream today. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, and I appreciate all the feedback. Thank you guys so much, Insomniac, Marildu, Douglas, Mahan, Tim, all you guys, Grainzer, John. Everybody here is super awesome. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.